Hello friends, and welcome back to my YouTube channel where today we're going to be talking all about blanks. So here you can see I have my blank master dice on the left and my standard master dice on the right. They are both matte at the moment because I'm repolishing my standard masters, which will be fully polished, but blanks actually do not need to be polished, which is one of the nice things about them. Blanks are essentially smaller dice shapes without the numbers on them. And they are used in order to do a variety of techniques that you cannot do with standard dice. You can see that the blanks are all a little bit smaller than the standard dice. From what I know, that they are about 2 millimeters or so smaller than standard dice. That is because with your blank masters, you make a mold out of them, and then cast in that mold just like you would dice, and then you can do a variety of things with those blanks, and then cast those blanks into dice molds in order to get this outer shell effect and the outside number. So dice made with blanks do take much longer to make because you are doing an additional casting step and then typically also a bunch of other decorating or painting type steps, and then you are casting them again in your dice molds. However, one of the nice things about blanks is that you can kind of DIY your own if you can't currently afford blank masters. They probably won't be sized as nicely as actually purchasing masters from a master maker, but if you simply take a set of your dice and then sand all of the sides even and so that all of the numbers are gone, bada bing bada boom, you've got blanks. Which is actually how I initially experimented with blanks. I had ordered masters, but I was way too impatient, so I took a set of my dice and I sanded all of the numbers off. It is a pain, it takes a very long time, and your blanks won't be as nicely shaped as if you actually purchase them, but it works. And another nice thing about blanks, cast and masters, is that they don't have to be perfect. Because they're ultimately getting cast again in your dice molds, they are very forgiving if not everything is sized correctly. Again, you can leave them matte if you would like instead of polishing them. It's pretty great. But let's get into why people want to use blanks in the first place. There are a lot of things you can do with blanks that you simply cannot do with only standard dice molds. So I'll be showing you a few examples of things I do with blanks, but there is a world of possibilities out there. Plenty of makers do incredibly cool things, from wrapping their blanks in fabric to sculpting out shapes on the blanks to hand painting entire designs. There's a lot you can do. It's just that I can really only speak on and show you the things that I do because I am myself. So what the heck do I use blanks for? Primarily, I use blanks for a style that I refer to as deco dice, which is using nail stickers to decorate the outside of blanks. Nail stickers are nice because they are tiny, which makes them perfect for dice, and they're so widely available. I get most of mine just off of Amazon, and then if I find one that I really like and want to use often, I can buy them in bulk from other places like Alibaba. And there are so many different designs out there, from sheets of gold lines like you saw on those earlier opal dice to tons of flowers, sheets with animals on them, stars, moons, you name it, you can probably find it as nail stickers. Even the die I'm holding here actually utilizes embossed or 3D nail stickers that have this element of texture that makes them look really distinct and unique from your standard nail sticker that is 2D and completely flat. So not only can you find a huge variety of different styles and elements, but even in terms of texture, there is a gigantic world of possibility regarding nail stickers, which is part of the reason that is primarily what I utilize blanks for. I also use blanks for my geode dice. So this is a pre-geode blank set, so they will be geodes in the future. They are not yet. But you can see I just pour my resin like normal. However, I do not fill my molds up all of the way to leave me a starter cavity. and then I use a Dremel and I carve out that cavity and then fill it with like different flakes or glitter or things to give a geode effect, like you can see on the left here. And for this set on the left, I also then decorated the rest of the outside with nail stickers. So you can combine these techniques in really cool ways, or you can just use them separately. Another really nice thing about blanks is that because you're doing something to part of the die that is encased fully in resin, you can use things like thermal reactive pigment to make mood ring dice, which is what these are, which you can't really do without blanks because the liquid crystal that causes this mood ring effect needs to be protected. But because it is fully encased in a shell of resin when you're using blanks, you can get that full coverage. You don't have to worry about if you're sanding part of the die, that pigment or whatever it is being sanded off, which historically is a problem with doing like full hollow dice. You can do that with blanks. You can just cover holographic glitter all over the die, encase it in resin, and then you don't have to worry about that glitter being sanded off. And speaking of covering your dice and things, this is a D20 that unfortunately didn't pick up on camera very well, but I painted this with nail polish because it has this really cool pink glitter reflect, and I thought, I wonder if I can paint a blank with nail polish and get that same effect. And the answer is, yes, you certainly can. Beyond just nail polish, you can use acrylic paint to paint scenery on the dice, or for instance, I painted my frames on these dice. You can see that I cast a terrarium set, so there's a little succulent in there, some flowers, and once those blanks are done, I then paint around all of the edges. Well, I use a toothpick, but use a toothpick around all of the edges to paint on that frame, which then gives this really cool effect once it's cast again. If you have better painting skills than I do, there are people who paint fish and aquatic scenes. There are people who paint on flowers. You can do so much with painting. So a set like this is actually combining a bunch of different things unique to blanks. I put reflective flakes on the inside of my molds that then were not disturbed because it's blanks. On top of those, I decorated them with nail stickers, and then on top of the nail stickers, I painted a frame around all of the sides of this die. There are just so many things you can do with blanks. It's funny because it was actually a few months after blanks popularized that I finally wanted to do anything with them, and now it is practically all I do. And I am very glad I took that leap last summer to give them a try. And maybe now you will too. But that is all I have for you in this one. If you liked it, maybe consider leaving a like. If you want to see more videos, maybe think about subscribing. And with that, as always, I hope you enjoyed, I hope you learned something, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye!